I'm 54, and if you're younger than me, here's some really hard financial truths that are probably going to make you uncomfortable, but they just might save you. Your dream life is possible, but not with your current financial habits. If you need a payment plan to afford it, you can't afford it. You're not saving money when you buy something on sale. You still spent, you just spent less. If you don't control your money, someone else will. And guess what? They're not going to use it in your best interest. A credit card is not an emergency fund. If you don't take the time to understand money, you will spend your life working for someone who does. Financial stress, it's self-inflicted. You can't retire on vibes and optimism. You're going to have to work until you die if you don't start investing. Your bank account reflects your choices, not your excuses. You don't believe me? Take a look. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the life that you're building. What are you voting for? Security or poverty? You don't need a financial miracle. You need financial discipline. Stop praying for money and begin managing what you have. Your future is being sold off one impulse purchase at a time, and you will never escape the cycle of being broke until you admit that you are the problem. Hope that helps.
If you can't pay for it in cash, means you can't afford it. The best advice I got, put that credit card away, rip it up, throw it away.
Why not?
Because you're going to be broke by the time you're 40, paying all those interest rates and keep paying the minimum, and you'll never get there. And I have a 22-year-old daughter. I feel bad for her because it's tough for them to make it. Prices are way too high, incomes are not enough. It's tough to save these days.
I don't think we understand that a lot of people got head starts. I don't think we understand that a lot of people did not get head starts and are starting from, some people start from the line. Some people start from the 10-meter mark. Some people start at the finish line. Some people are not even in the stadium. Some of us are inheriting financial trauma. Some people are inheriting debt. Some people are inheriting a legacy and a generation of just bad financial decisions, while other people didn't have to pay to go to school, while some other people got to live in their parents' house until they were 30 without paying a bill. So while you're sitting down there and you're looking at the girl on Instagram and you're just like, shit, this bitch got a house at 26. Yeah. She's never paid a bill in her life. And guess where she works? Her dad's company. And you brought yourself through school. You paid for a master's. You're paying off that loan. You come from country and you come at town. You don't have nobody at town. So you live in one apartment. You pay that apartment. You're doing all of these things. You're racking up all of these expenses. You're racking up all of these bills. And you're holding yourself to the standard of somebody that is privileged. Finances are very personal.
What is the best financial advice you've ever received?
Invest in assets, not liabilities.
What is the worst financial advice you've ever received?
The way to build wealth is saving your money.
So true. Third question. What is something you used to value that you don't anymore?
Material things.
What is something that you think people think is important when it comes to money, but you realize that's not really the right focus?
Net worth. Net worth is a crap indicator of real success.
If you don't tell your money where to go, you're going to wonder where it went. In all of my years of financial counseling, I discovered that most people who couldn't figure out where their money went were not on a budget. They were just winging it every week, every month, year after year. But Proverbs 27:23 says, "Know well the condition of your flocks, because wealth doesn't last forever." Now that means that just like a good shepherd knows every detail about their sheep, we should know the details about our finances. And the only way to do that is to live on a budget. So here are 5 reasons why most people hate budgets, but why we need them anyway. Number 1, budgets feel too restrictive. I had a guy tell me one time that he feels like he's in a straitjacket when he budgets. But here's the deal. A good budget doesn't just tell you what you can't do. It just helps you do what you should do. Number two, budgets require vision. Most people don't have a vision when it comes to their finances. Proverbs 29:18, one of my favorite verses, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. No vision means no direction. So if you don't know why you're budgeting, then it's not going to be any fun at all. But if you have a vision, like paying off debt or saving to buy a house or retiring comfortably one day, then that becomes your motivation to budget. So you got to have a vision. Now, the third reason people hate budgets is because budgets force you to face reality. And that can be scary for a lot of people. A lot of people are afraid to face the truth about their financial condition. Truths like, I'm spending more than what I make. Or, wow, I eat out a whole lot. But here's the thing, you can't change what you will not confront. Facing reality, it may be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Number four, people hate budgets because budgets feel unnecessary when you have a surplus. In other words, people who have money think, why do I need a budget? I'm good. I got extra money. I have money left over every month. I'm balling. But without a plan, your surplus can easily turn into a deficit. You see, a budget is a plan for your spending, no matter how much money you have. So don't let today's abundance become tomorrow's regret because you didn't budget. And number five, people claim that budgets never work for them. Maybe their old budget was unrealistic or too rigid or too complicated, so they just gave up. But the key is finding a budgeting system that fits your life. Because at the end of the day, a budget isn't about restricting your life. It's about unlocking your financial potential.
The best piece of financial advice I've ever received was from a family friend when I was about 15. He was telling my parents that he probably had $2 million in assets, but probably $3 million in debt. So of course, me being a kid, I was making fun of him, saying that I had a higher net worth. I was richer than he was. And he looked at me and he said, net worth doesn't matter. The next thing he said, I didn't understand until years later, because he said there are only two things that you don't get taxed on: appreciation of assets and debt. And if you are using both of these tools to their absolute maximum, your net worth is never going to truly represent your value. Then he said the most important part, which was that if you focus on your net worth, you will be afraid to invest, you will be afraid to take risks, and you will be afraid to borrow, because they'll all lower your net worth. And not doing these will handicap your chances at financial independence more than anything else.
When you are used to being broke and you finally get some money, you're going to give it all away so you can go back to what you're used to, which is being broke. When you are used to being broke and you finally get some money, you're going to eat it all away, shop it all away, give it all away, so that you can go back to your baseline, which is what you're used to, which is being broke. I have gotten plenty of bags in my lifetime before and didn't know what to do with it and gave it all away, swore I was being godly, but really I had no idea how to steward any level of increase. So before you get that bag that you've been praying for, before your business takes off, before all the things that you are praying for, before you receive it, consider what kind of wisdom, habits, attitude, mindset, all the things you're going to need to be able to sustain it, right? You have to believe that you are worthy of this life that you are asking for, worthy of the resources, and even the rest that you're asking for. Otherwise, when you get it, you're going to blow it because you're going to go back to what you're used to. That's just the way our nervous systems are wired. You're going to go back and make sure that you are always safe. And where you have felt the safest is being broke.
Stop taking financial advice from your poor parents. If you come from a poor home, your parents are not the best people to take business and financial advice from. If you are going to take advice from your poor parents, you are going to behave like them, you are going to think like them, you are going to end up like them because they don't have any financial track record. How can someone give you what he or she does not have? Your parents don't know how to make money. They are poor, so they can't teach you to be rich. You have been praying and attacking the devil. You have been praying attacking witches in your family, you think they are the reason why you are not making money. My dear brother, my dear sister, you have to question all the advice you have received from your parents. You have inherited poverty mindset from your parents, and it is time you have to drop them. Some of you, your parents are no more, but they still control you from the grave because they gave you bogus advice some years back and you still hold on to that advice. It is time you question every advice you have received from your broke parents.
If you don't have $400 saved, your finances are on code red. That thing need a resuscitation. That thing need a revival. First step to getting yourself out of financial bondage is saving $400 so that you're not grouped up with the 37% of Americans that can't come up with $400 if an emergency hit. Let me tell you something. Emergencies will come. And if you're not prepared for it, it will put you straight into debt. And you don't want to be in them high interest credit card situations. So step one, to get your financial life started, set aside $400 for an emergency, either in your savings account or a high yield savings account or a money market. Either way, start. You need $400 saved right now. All right, God bless.
If you drive a Toyota Corolla, even though you can afford a Benz, that is financial wisdom. If you drive a Toyota Corolla, because that is the maximum that you can afford, that is a financial mistake. Because in the world of financial literacy, you don't cut your coat according to your size. Often your coat has to be smaller. It means that whatever position you find yourself financially, whatever action that you are going to take should be below your financial capacity. It is not every single thing that you can afford that you should buy.
Every day that you save your money in the bank, you are slowly becoming poorer each and every day, and most of us never see it happen. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't save any money. This just means you have to understand how to save your money strategically, because wealthy people do not want to save all their money. They want to save their money for an emergency, they save their money for an investment, or they save their money for a big purchase. If it doesn't fall into one of those three things, you don't want to save your money, because now you're saving money. Your savings are just making you poorer each and every day.
I'm 54, and if you don't learn these lessons about money now, you'll regret it later. You're not tired. You're underpaid. The first step to wealth: stop impressing people who don't pay your bills. Your boss will replace you long before your family recovers from losing you. Pay attention to your work-life balance. They don't pay you for how hard you work. They pay you for how hard you are to replace. You weren't meant to work 40 years just to enjoy 10. If you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. You don't have a money problem. You have a decision-making problem. A great deal is still a waste of money if you didn't need it. You don't have fun money. You have unpaid bills you're ignoring. And those people you think have made it, they didn't get lucky. They got serious. Because remember, money will solve 90% of your problems, but the other 10%, you're going to still need therapy. Hope that helps.
If you make emotional decisions around money, you will be broke. Did I say that too fast? If you make your financial decisions based on emotions, you will be broke. Because here's what I found out as an entrepreneur. Sometimes I don't feel like working. So guess what I do? I work anyway. Sometimes I feel like I've got the greatest idea in the world and I want to abandon everything and just run after this great idea. That's a terrible thing to do. Man, I just saw this thing and I really want to buy it. But if I buy it, I won't be able to pay my employees on Friday. Terrible idea. You can't make decisions, you can't make money decisions based on emotions and get rich. I mean, you can make money decisions based on emotion, but you can't get rich. So you have to learn how to use your mind. So what do you use your mind to do? This is where the wealth is created. You must learn true perceptions, or learn to perceive the truth. You have to learn true perceptions. You don't see things the way they are. You see things the way you are. Did I say that too? I'm going to say that again. You don't see things the way they are. You see things the way you are. And what's really fascinating is, like, this is a scientific fact. This is how the algorithm knows what to feed you on social media. They feed you things you already like, already believe, already think. For perfect example, if you are like a liberal Democrat, they're going to show you all the good stuff they can find about liberal Democratic politics. If you're a conservative Republican, they're going to show you all the conservative Republican stuff. If you like country music, they're not going to show you Beyonce and Michael Jackson. If you like pop music, they're not going to show you Travis Tritt and Clint Black. They're going to show you the stuff that you've already demonstrated you like. Well, guess what? Like, we have this thing in our mind called a people call it reticular activation, but it's actually reticular actuation. And what happens is we notice things that we're aware of, and we don't notice things that we're not aware of. So you get a new car, right? You never, like, you saw this car, you're like, oh, this is a really cool car. But you didn't really see them that often, so you thought they weren't that common. Until you got one, it seems like the day after you got your new car. Like, most of the people in town went out and got the same car. Like, why are they copying me? They're not copying you. You've just become more aware of it. And so you have to learn how to use your mind to learn true perceptions. And because most people were miseducated in the miseducational, misdirectional system, most people don't like to do what they think learning is, but that's not actually what learning is anyway. So most people don't want to read because they were forced to read stuff that wasn't interesting, so they think reading is boring. How many of y'all tracking? Right? They learned math backwards in the American miseducational, misdirectional system, and so they think math is hard because the system intentionally, in my opinion, taught them math backwards so that they wouldn't want to think about numbers, and if you don't want to think about numbers, then you won't want to think about numbers when it comes to your money, so when you become an adult, it's easier for the system to take your money. There's an ethnic group that is categorically and historically better at math than every other ethnic group. Who am I talking about? Asians. Everybody said Asians, right? And so what people who don't understand reality like to do, well, that's because they have an extra math gene. No. People say stuff like that. No, they don't have an extra math gene. In Asia, they just don't teach math backwards. What do I mean? If you would have learned addition from left to right, we learn to read from right to left, but we learn math from right to left. Do you ever think about that?
If you're broke right now, it's your own damn fault. It's never been easier to make money, and the good news is I'm going to show you how to fix it in 3 easy steps if you'll give me 1 minute of your time. Number 1, you have to get a handle on your money, and it starts with understanding your budget. You can't just keep buying dumb shit and not having a plan. Number 2, you have to start investing right away, even if you can only invest $50 to $100 a month. The goal here is to save 15% of your net monthly income. Number 3, and this one is a game changer. If money is tight, you have to work an additional 5 hours a week or get a side hustle so you can make an extra $100 to $200 a week and invest all of it. If you simply do this one thing for the next 10 years, you'll have roughly $175,000 saved and invested and on your way to millionaire status. So follow these 3 steps immediately and get out of the rat race sooner than later. Okay, so we have the plan. Let's go.